Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Sola, and I want you to be your own icon. Today, we're going to be talking about 10 signs that you might be ready to start your holistic self-care journey. It's really based off of a lot of things I've experienced. It's based off of a lot of things of, the women in my life have experienced as well, and the people that I work with have experienced. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, if you feel that you might be doing some of the things on the list I'm about to give, let's get going. Okay, so this list, it's very like BuzzFeed circa 2013. Here's the list of things that you need to know. But I felt this was the most practical way of getting this point across. And I think my work is really based on like practical steps, practical things that you can see and that are tangible that you can run with. So these are the 10 things. If you have any more, leave them in the comment section. As always, I am not the perfect messenger, but I hope that you get the spirit of what I am trying to say. So let's do it. First, let's give a shout out to this like salmon frilly Caribbean auntie moment that I'm wearing. I'm just so excited for spring. I felt like getting a head start and dressing like it's spring. So that's what I'm doing. And we're gonna get going. The first sign that you might be ready for your holistic self-care journey is that you are feeling more sensitive than normal. I can totally attest to this. Right before I really started taking my journey seriously, I would just experience these bouts of like incredibly intense emotions. One day I would be elated and super excited and super happy and, definitely manic. And then I would go all the way to just grief and sad and anger, and I don't want to pick my head up from the pillow. I remember one time someone said something that disappointed me, and I went home. This is a safe, brave space, so I'm just sharing what I've been through. But I went home and I like threw like a wine glass in the corner of my apartment, and it was such a weird moment because I had never done anything like that, and I never had needed such like a almost like violent release. And that was such a sign to me that like I need to figure something out. Something here is wrong, because I was just going from crying to anger to sad to throwing to completely checking out to just a bunch of other things. So if you're feeling super sensitive, if you're feeling super triggered, it might be time to start your holistic self-care journey. So the next one is that you feel trapped in a cycle. This one's huge. A lot of the work that I do is based on this idea of understanding what our cycles are. And everything in life is a cycle. Everything in nature is a cycle. So understanding what your cycles are. And if you feel trapped in a cycle that no longer serves you, it might be time to really think about your holistic self-care journey. A cycle that doesn't serve you is a cycle, could be a cycle at work, a one of overwork and burnout. It can be a cycle with friends. It can be a cycle with your family dynamic, but whatever the cycle is, it just doesn't serve you. It's not something that leaves you feeling great and fulfilled and just like the way that you're meant to feel, which is great for the most part, right? So the next one, this one is, I'm not going to say it's specific to me, but it's specific to a lot of different people. And we are obviously right now on this channel really focusing on what's going on the inside, but there's going to be a point in the channel when we talk about what's going on the outer level, what's going on in your like pink salmon shirt, Caribbean beach fantasies. And so one of the signs that you might be experiencing a shift and a need for your holistic self-care journey is that you are starting to feel frumpy. I feel like that's a word that is usually thrust upon women, but I genuinely feel like it's a gender neutral term. But maybe you're feeling frumpy. Maybe you feel like you don't like the way that your hair is falling. Maybe, you want to listen to Gen Z and rock a middle part. Maybe you're feeling like your skinny jeans are no longer serving you. Maybe you feel like you're not showing up in the world as radiant as you know that you can, or that you hope to feel one day. That one's a big one. If you go and check out my skincare video and my like sort of brief holistic self-care intro for myself, that was a big sign for me. I realized that I used to be someone who loved bright colors and fashion and everything. And then I came to a point where I looked down at my wardrobe, I looked down at what I was wearing, I looked at how I was presenting myself, and I said, oh, like, it's not giving. Like, it's not cute. It's not cute. And like, you know what? I can be honest with myself. Me saying that it's not cute, what I was doing back then, doesn't necessarily mean that I, didn't still love myself. But sometimes you reach a point of loving yourself so much that you want to present the best version of you, not necessarily for anybody else, but the best version of you when you look in the mirror. So you can look in the mirror and just feel it, and just like zhuzh up and be like, oh, I look great. I love what I'm giving today. It's fire. It's fuego. It's happening. So that's another one. Feeling frumpy. Definitely look out for that. That one is actually kind of one of the easier holistic self-care steps that you can take. But we'll get to that in a different video. So the next one is you feel like you're not getting anywhere in life. This one is really, 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 really high up on the list. Feeling, and this goes hand in hand with cycles. You feel like you're just doing the same thing and you're not getting anywhere. You're not pursuing anything. It's just a spirit of stagnation. And I know right now during, this whole global situation that we can start to feel like that more than ever, because, we've just been in this same weird bubble for about a year. And so if you're feeling like that, definitely don't beat yourself up on that. You probably do need to start your holistic self-care journey, but a big part of it does have to do with the fact that we've just been in this wild scenario for a year. So keep that in mind. Learn how to push through and know what's this, the crazy outside world and what's going on in your inner world. And then from there, goal setting and boundary setting and all the rest of the great holistic self-care stuff starts to kick in. Next one, chronic fatigue. You are experiencing chronic fatigue. Let me tell you. And then actually chronic fatigue, and the one after that, number 6, is chronic stress. Let me tell you how both of those things can fully throw you off your kilter. It can throw you off your purpose. It can make you feel numb, but also super sensitive at the same time. I have experienced chronic fatigue and chronic stress to the point of memory loss, to the point where I got so stressed and so overworked and so just depleted that I wouldn't remember things anymore. It's a really wild thing to sort of articulate, but it can happen. It is a symptom of chronic fatigue and chronic stress. Chronic stress and chronic fatigue can also cause your hair to fall out. It can cause just all sorts of dysfunction within the body. It can make you less kind. I remember at certain points of, I've had many cycles of overwork, but at certain points of overwork, I just felt myself being mean, being not having any sympathy, and not even anywhere near the extra miles for friends. I couldn't extend any empathy to anybody else other than myself, because that's how stressed I was. That's how tired I was. And you need to rest. You need to rest. I cannot say that more. But if you haven't started your holistic self-care journey, sometimes rest, sometimes taking a moment to set a boundary so that you can rest and can get consistent rest, sometimes that can feel so scary, and that can feel so frightening, because you haven't yet told yourself that you are worthy and allowed to rest. So that's one of the things that I really crack in on with holistic self-care and being a holistic self-care guide, because chronic fatigue and chronic stress will literally put you in the ground. Period. it can put you in the ground. It can literally lead you to an early death, heart failure, heart disease, all sorts of things. It also is a sponge that attracts bad habits, which is what happened to me. It made me attract bad eating habits, bad lifestyle habits, allowed me to be close to people that I wasn't supposed to be close to in situations that I wasn't supposed to be in. So that's a really, really big one. And I'm definitely going to be making some videos about overworking and everything really soon. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you subscribe and hit the little bell button for those videos. So the next one is that your friendships and your relationships are starting to feel pointless, or you are starting to feel disconnected from them. Two ways that this can happen. One of the reasons why you might be feeling disconnected from your friendships or your relationships is because you are sort of lacking that empathy that comes with, connecting with people, because you are so in your own vortex of all those sort of like bad things that are happening to you as a result of not caring for yourself. The second reason why you can start to feel disconnected from friends, family, relationships is because those friends and those family members and those relationships are actually super low vibrational. And there's something inside of you that's telling you it's time to hit it. This is not feeling good anymore. I don't like sitting around and like keying with my friends and talking shit about other people and talking like poorly about other people, pardon me, talking poorly about other people. And I don't like sitting here and feeling miserable with these people, or I don't like how this family member talks to me or what they talk about. And you feel disconnected from them because you don't want to be in that space. You don't want to be in that energy anymore. However, you don't know how to get out of it. You don't know how to take a step back from saying it. Or maybe you have said it and you have, experienced some sort of retaliation, whether it's words or through actions, that have made you believe that you have to stick around these people, but you can't really be yourself and share what you want to share. So when you start your holistic self-care journey, the people who you surround yourself with, a new light will be shining on them. And it's going to be something that you've known all along about the people you're around, or about you and how you interact with them. And it's going to change. It's going to shift a lot of stuff around for sure. The next one, you fear being alone, or you are feeling chronically lonely. I did a whole video on loneliness and the truth about loneliness, so go check that out. But this one's a big one. And this also goes like hand in hand with the last one I talked about with friendships and relationships and family. When you feel alone, when you're feeling lonely, you're going to stick to people and stick to places where you're not meant to be. But you're doing that so that you can distance yourself from the feeling of being alone, because being alone can be very scary, because once you're alone, you have to deal with all the stuff that's in here. So next one, you are breaking promises to yourself. The most important boundary that you can set are the boundaries that you make with yourself. Those are the most important boundaries. So if you were setting up boundaries, if you were setting up goals for yourself, but you were constantly letting yourself down, and that felt like a very harsh thing for me to say, but you can let yourself down. You let yourself down when you go back to places and you go back to people that you know that don't serve you. You let yourself down when you say, I'm going to do this, but then you don't follow through. And there's a whole science behind not following through on some of those things. Some people are setting goals that they can never meet because they're not congruent with who they are. They don't vibe with, if you will, they don't vibe with who they really are and what they really want and their true values. So that's another really good sign that you're getting ready to start your holistic self-care journey, because your holistic self-care journey is a set of practices, rituals, and just habits that you form in order to self-heal and to self-love. And so if you don't really know who you are and what you're doing, and you're setting these goals and then you're disappointing yourself, that's another cycle. Like, I always give this example. I'm not a morning person. I am slowly starting to build up my morning self-care routine, but for the most part, I know that getting up in the morning and running 2 miles is something that I am not going to do. I'm not going to do it. I have no interest in doing it. I will, I'm not going to say I will never have any interest in doing it, because I'm doing things now that I never thought I would do before. But if I set a goal for myself to get up at 5 in the morning and run 2 miles, guess what? I'm going to break that promise to myself, because 1, why am I doing that? Do I have a reason why I'm doing that? 2, that's not something that really vibes with the life that I'm living right now. And 3, it's just, I don't like waking up early. I don't like waking up early. I'm not going to do that. So if I set all those things, I try to run, I disappoint myself. I try to set a goal, I disappoint myself. I try to set a goal, I disappoint myself. I'm getting into this cycle of frustration where now I'm internalizing that I can't do things. And now I feel bad about myself because I can't do those things. Meanwhile, I shouldn't have been trying to do those things anyway. Or if I do set goals, I need to set goals with myself in mind, what I really want in mind and who I really am in mind. So that's breaking promises to yourself. That comes in all sorts of forms. It comes in texting back, triple texting that dude you're not supposed to be triple texting, and all of those other things. So that's a video for another day. This one is gonna be the last one. That's gonna be the second to last one. I don't remember what number I'm on. I got a little heated on the last one. You are tired of people pleasing. And I guess the 10.5 would be, you are tired of overworking. This is something that I cannot wait to show you all what I'm working on in terms of overworking and people pleasing, because overworking and people pleasing is a sign of looking to other people for validation and looking to other people to affirm who we are and our worth. And we work, and we please in an attempt to gain our worth from somebody else to make us feel better. It's not something that we derive from inside of us. So if you are tired of people pleasing, you are realizing that there is no reward for making sacrifices in silence. There's no place in heaven for you for just doing a bunch of things and nobody acknowledging it. That means that is the number one. That is like, go and run and let's start this holistic self-care journey right now. If you are tired of people pleasing, if you are tired of overworked, you are tired in your bones, you're tired in your heart of hearts, and all of those things, you are ready to start your holistic self-care journey. You're ready. You are so ready, and I'm so excited. I'm so happy for you for being ready, because you deserve to, not only do you deserve to like take a break and not overwork and not people please all the time, but you are also ready to receive some of that goodness that you give out in the world, some of that work that you give out in the world. You deserve to have that come on back to you in a way that doesn't require you to like run, tread water. So that is how you know that you're ready for your holistic self-care journey. I've experienced just about all of these. And honestly, there's probably a list of another 10 things that I could probably name. But you will only be ready to start when you know who you are and you know what you want and you know what you want your future to be. And then you can grapple with all of those 3 things unapologetically, without shame, without barriers, without limitations, without scarcity. You just come in there and you're ready to go, and you're ready to be the you that you want to be. You're ready to be your own icon. That's what the motto is all about. So I have a really fun, well, I don't know if I would call it fun, but I have what is hopefully a really helpful, practical worksheet for you all to fill out. It is in the description box. It is my Know Thyself worksheet and guide, and it takes you through understanding the cycles that you are in, whether it's playing it small by like not showing anybody your talents or playing it big by overcompensating with like materialism and being big and rambunctious, even though inside you're feeling a little trapped. So I take you through cycles like that. I talk about understanding how your body is feeling, both mind, body, spirit. And then we dive into some shadow work where we talk about who or what hurt you, how did it hurt, why did it hurt, how are we honoring those feelings of hurt. So if you are interested in that guide, I'm offering it for free, like $0, $0.99. Just head to my website in the description box below and snag it. That is the first step in your holistic self-care journey. I always say, how can you begin to heal if you don't even know who you are healing? So let's figure out who we are, what we want, and go from there. And then the rest, I'm not going to say it's smooth sailing, because it's not always smooth sailing. Y'all know how I'm going to be honest about that. But I know that the rest will help you break some of these cycles, help you let go of some of the 10 things that I just talked about, especially the chronic fatigue and stress and, and moving towards a higher vibrational vibe. So if that sounds like something you are interested in, definitely go and grab that in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, I'm Sola. I want you to be your own icon. And you can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at Now Let's Get Going, or at Now Let's Get Going. And thank you so much for watching, and definitely think about watching some other videos. I mean, they're here. We're here, we're out here, we're doing it. Okay, did you click on them? Did you? Okay, you clicked on them, right? Yeah.